Late in 1895, Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen first noticed the strange effect which led to the announcement of his discovery of X-ray.
They remained a mystery even to the scientists. That is how they got their name. X for the unknown.
Wait, is this a long one?
That's shorty, man. This is a short intro. Come on. Rusty.
All right, man. Freaking Rusty
Crab.
over here.
Rusty Crab, I'm going to call you.
Welcome back at Rusty Rosilla Roosevelt. Back on the pod.
Portable Patrick.
Portable proton. Pretty fly for a white guy, Patrick.
Proton Patrick. Dude, that's it. That's so much better.
Proton Patrick. And we got Joint Commission John.
Jacob John. What's up,
photons?
Jacob John.
I've decided I'm Jejunal Jazzy John.
Juno Jazzy
You
John.
don't have to make your own nickname.
Triple
You
J.
make nicknames here.
Triple J.
Juno Jazzy John. And today, guess what? We got our
All right,
guest,
cut the music.
a guest slash friend
I
slash
thought it was supposed to be.
YouTube influencer slash
Go.
educator slash homie. We got
Slash,
Lazy
always on
Bones.
call. Every time I see him on Instagram, he's
Always on
clocking in at 2
call.
in the morning.
Seriously.
We
I
got.
feel like he just
we
drives to
got-
the hospital and takes pictures.
I know, man. So stop fronting, man. What, Carlos? Captain Carlos.
No.
Captain Carlos.
Carlos. Yeah, Captain Carlos, aka Lazy Bones Radiology.
Let's go.
From Bone Hugs and Harmony.
Oh my God.
Welcome to the show, man.
Welcome
Season
to-
2. You came into season 2, man. Appreciate you coming. That's it's a big ass. What's up,
Nothing
man?
much, man. I
How
appreciate
you
you
doing?
guys inviting me here. Sorry I wasn't here earlier.
You know what?
Happy to have you.
It really is a big ask.
We're
if you really
sorry,
stop and
yeah.
think about it, like there's so many amazing things. Like at home, you got your air conditioning, you got the Wi-Fi, you got Netflix. You can watch all of Last of Us or Love Is Blind, or sorry, I just said
Not
that one.
that. Not that.
And to say, hey, can we still like 2 to 3, 10 hours of your time? Because we there, if you're ever on the show, you're like, oh, it's a podcast are usually like 60 minutes long. There is about an hour of BSing beforehand, and then there's about 3 hours afterwards.
That's the fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So
It's let me ask you a question, man. Since you're like always on call, how much call time did it take for you to save up to buy a Cricut and like 3D printer?
let's go.
Pretty much 2 weeks, I guess. Yeah, man.
Nice.
Yeah?
Can you show us your
Dang.
paycheck?
That sounds
I wanna
like a
see
lot
that
of call, man. How's your
Man,
Cricut? You making
why
like
didn't-
stickers?
Why don't you just go in the backyard and get a cricket?
No, they're hard to catch.
John? Dad joke, John. Not even a dad.
More like bad joke, John.
Bad
Wow.
joke, John. Jujuno.
I ain't
What
got-
was it? Jujuno.
Jazzy Jejunal John?
Jesse.
Jujuno.
Jejunal Jazz?
Jiu-Jitsu John,
Nah,
keep it
man.
down.
So pretty much, I pick up a lot of call because I like to call. I'm young. I want to do it now. I finished paying off my
It's the time,
house.
man.
Like I just been like working at it for the past 3 years.
Wait. Rewind. You got no
Dang,
mortgage
bro.
right now,
No
Carlos?
mortgage, bro.
Bro, you must be listening to episode 3.
man.
Wow.
I think that's Patrick's
Yeah, man.
advice.
I take
Wow.
advice well,
Listen.
man. Like you got to work hard.
I don't. I still have a mortgage, Carlos. I have a
Y'all
Me
can't
too, bro.
y'all can't see Carlos's walls at home, but he's got $100 bill wallpaper. It's weird
dude.
how much cost.
Let's go.
It's like gold flakes.
Gold flake toilet
leaf,
paper.
man. Gold leaf.
Dang. Man.
That call
Yeah, man.
life. The call life's a
Yeah,
rough
man.
life,
So-
but you know what's not rough? Having a mortgage or no mortgage. Let's
I've
go.
heard,
That's
I got my
facts.
house good before the market was crazy, so it wasn't as expensive as
Yeah, man.
houses are now.
So let me ask you, Carlos, how I mostly stalk you on Instagram and your YouTube's Lazy Bones Radiology. If y'all are out there listening, how long have you? This is gonna tie into it. How long have you been a tech?
How long have I been? So
Like,
I graduated in 2018, December 2018, and ever since then I've been.
So basically 19. So
You're still a mijo.
I'm still young.
You're
I'm in my
mijo.
fourth year.
John, Google that. We might get canceled. What does that mean?
Do I need to translate?
Mijo means
or-
mijo means little kid. Like little son.
So I'm gonna tell you straight up, Carlos. This is sort of embarrassing, but I don't care because you guys can judge me if you want. You've been a tech for 4 years. You sounds like you're already very fiscally responsible. When I was a graduate, fresh out of school, 4 years, it was more like 3 years. 3 years was the mark where I decided to finally like up my contribution to my 401k at the hospital. Like for the first 2 or 3 years, I was like, what? No, I'm keeping all this
Bro,
check.
I'm like,
why would I give my money away?
of my check goes to my 401k.
Oh,
And then,
let's go.
Hey,
You know what? That's so smart. If you're out there
It's-
listening,
Bro, that's not with matching either, is it?
no,
they only match
no,
by
matching is like
3 or 4.
6% from the hospital, but so it's
pretty
26
good.
total.
that's still
But yeah. And
Wow.
then,
And you know what's smart
You
about
got the
doing that right
Robin
out the gate is that you just never
well, the
miss
thing
it.
is, like,
you
the beauty of compound interest. So where I work at, there's everybody's elderly than me. I was the youngest tech when I first started.
dang, why you got to throw out the elderly,
Well,
Carlos? You could just say they're a little bit
No,
older.
Bro,
they're wise.
we know those technologists.
They're wise.
Wow,
Elderly?
we know
There's
those
like
technologists.
They're listening right
they're
now.
wise.
I'm
like
gonna
the
let 'em know.
doctors.
They're gonna listen
the
to this
nurses,
podcast.
Like everybody, like gave me tips. Like, hey, this is what I did. This is what I did. And I'm like, okay, 20% right now. Yeah, it hurts when I look at my paychecks. So that's why I pick up so much call. I'm like, man, got to make up that money. But that compound
That's awesome,
interest on
Love
everything that I invest my money on, it's paying in dividends now. So 4 years is like compound
Dang.
interest is by the time I retire, I'm gonna be good.
Hey, this is a perfect segue. If you guys are up on your finances like Carlos, why don't you go ahead and buy the Catheter Jockeys a drink? Go ahead. Link in the bio.
too.
Go
you know
ahead
who's
and hit
not
that
contributing 20%?
Smart.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you are actually, we're gonna catch the whole demographic. If your dividends are hitting like my man Carlos is, go ahead, hit us up with a little bit of a charitable contribution. If you're a new grad and you're balling and not caring, go ahead and throw a little our way.
Yeah, man.
Either way.
Yeah.
I think we need like a Robinhood referral code, get like free stocks or something.
Right.
Bro,
Shout
I got
out.
like 0.000125689101211 Bitcoin.
Hey, man, that's a lot of money.
Bro, that's like $14. Let's go.
No
Yeah,
kidding.
man.
Right.
Did y'all hear about the Pepe coin?
Pepe coin, yeah.
So this Pepe coin, this is just, if you bought $50 worth of it at one point and you held on to it through its little month-long ride here, you would have had over $1 million in less than a month. Just for blowing money on something silly.
Dang.
Outrageous,
thing.
man.
Now it's not worth that much,
To
but
buy those type of
it
coins,
did a little,
you have to
That's what they said about Apple back in the day.
right?
Yeah,
But this happened in like 3 weeks.
that's wild.
Catheter Jockeys insider trade tip.
No.
Yo,
No insider
cut that,
trading.
Cut that.
outside. Catheter Jockeys outside trading tip.
Super outside.
Yo.
Literally, I don't know.
Basic accounting.
Invest in Bed Bath & Beyond. They're never going away.
Let's go.
Yeah, bro.
Brick and mortar,
Yeah, so,
baby.
like, one of my the nurses that I work with, his name is Jason. He's the one who honestly he talked about stocks all the time, and no one would listen to him because everybody they were just spending their money. I'm like, hey, teach me about those stocks, and he was showing me, and I'm like, man, he has a lot of knowledge. He's been doing it for like 10 years, and he just taught me everything that I know right now, and I just keep watching videos, and yeah, man.
And look at you now.
Well,
Look at you now. You're on the
I'm
Catheter
still young,
Jockeys.
so I still got a long way to go.
And you got a
In
sweet
case
ass
y'all-
strawberry shortcake freaking picture in the background. What is that? Is that strawberry
That's a
shortcake?
Picasso, actually.
That's actually a sculpting.
Yeah.
It was like 3D. It's actual sculpture.
Oh,
What?
dang. Oh, so it's not a plate. Oh, that's an actual
Yeah.
like thing. Okay, cool.
Let's go. All right,
Is
let
that
me ask
baby-
you a question. I'm gonna
Baby
put you on.
Jesus.
I'm gonna put you on the warm seat,
All right.
Warm seat, warm
That's
seat,
wor-
warm seat.
which sounds like something from a public
Oh,
restroom.
God.
You're on the warm seat,
All right.
Carlos. Have you left us a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify?
Oh, yes, I have. Well, I was like one
What?
of the first ones.
Have you?
Man.
Oh, this is awkward. I did not know that. So I was hoping you'd say no, then I would bust your chops, and then I would read a latest review. But thank you so much for this review.
Since
Carlos.
day one, man. I remember
amazing.
you guys when you guys first started. Yeah, I remember Roosevelt texted me. I'm like, "What's up?" I'm like, "What up, man?"
Did he promise you any merch or to get
Day
on
one
He
email?
did promise me merch, but I don't. Where it at though?
I'm wearing it, bro.
Oh,
Bro, you got your shirt
You're
on.
keeping it warm for me.
You gotta, you'll get it.
Well, thank you so much for this review. Thanks for coming
man.
on. I want to read a review because if you're out there listening right now, listen, you're in that euphoria. You just bought us a drink. You're like, how else can I help contribute? You can help us by leaving us a review. If you're listening on Spotify or Google or other stuff, go and hit that 5-star button. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, you can leave a review like one of my favorite reviews to date. This one is a 5-star review. Thank you for that.
whoop, whoop.
This one is from Caesar LMM, and 5-star review reads, "You guys got me through my first tattoo. Keep up the work." So if you are about to or thinking about getting a tattoo, go and fire up Catheter Jockeys or Rad Tech Podcast. I like that. He goes, keep up the work. Like, it's not even a given that it's good work. He just like, you guys got me through my first tattoo. Keep up.
I gotta see I gotta see the line work on that because you're probably laughing and it's gonna be like,
oh, that's true. I mean, unless you listen to episode 204, you weren't laughing too much. Just kidding. I don't know what 204 was. Forgive me if that's a one. But yes, thank you for leaving a review.
Yeah, man. Especially like when I
thank you for leaving
like when I'm driving and stuff
Caesar.
like that, man. You guys make me laugh. You guys brighten up my day. So yeah.
Oh man, thanks, Carlos.
Dang, hitting us in the feels.
Dang, Captain Carlos.
Compton Carlos, man.
No, I'm changing it to Caring Carlos.
Okay.
Oh man, I thought you were gonna say Karen. I was like, no.
You know what? It is cool though. I can tell because I know you're active on the socials. And let me just go ahead and give you right out the gate. Just mad props. Anyone in radiology that does literally anything extra when they get off of work to help kind of, whether it's intentional that even if you're not like, hey, I'm going to help improve and get exposure to rad tech. If you're just doing stupid videos that are sort of radiology centric, if you're doing anything extra, mad props to you, because just to get people jazzed and excited about doing the actual job they're getting paid for is a super hard task. And then people on their time off, or whatever, they're making stuff on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, the whole nine. My hat's off to anyone. And I definitely like some of your educational videos on the YouTubes. I love seeing all the stuff on the gram whenever you're getting called in or getting so much free food there at Interventional.
Yeah, bro. That's one perk about IR.
Bro,
that's
daily.
like the best perk of
man.
IR, man.
Well,
but imagine
we're working nonstop,
before the law happened, dude. I'm telling you, before the law happened, where like they couldn't do that anymore, it has to be education. It was like food every day.
Yeah,
that was crazy. Every day,
send them a helicopter, take you to a steak restaurant, bring you home.
Yeah, man.
But
it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
4 years out, Carlos. Since we got you on, man, we decided that this is going to be a maybe a little IR centric episode, also too.
All right.
You know, paying homage to our name. Dude, what made you go into IR?
So, funny story. When I was a student, an X-ray student, my plan was graduate from X-ray school, go to CT. Finish my bachelor's, go to med school. That was my plan. So I finished all my paperwork my third semester out of the 6. On my fourth semester, I was pretty much like helping out, doing my thing. I was done with all my paperwork, so I wasn't really. I was just studying and working. one of my friends, which he's my manager now, his name is Morgan. He was in charge of IR. He walked into the department. He's like, "Hey, we need help. We need a tech." At the moment, there was barely any X-ray techs in the department. I was like, "I'm certified. I guess I can move a C-arm. I got you."
I can shoot those rays you're
Exactly.
talking
He was
about.
just like, "All right, you know how to use a C-arm?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You know how to use two?" At the same time, I was like, "I guess I got to learn."
I got two hands, don't I?
I walk into the
little biplane
I went to the department. They're doing a kyphoplasty with two C-arms. I was like running both C-arms at the same time. And after that, Morgan was like, "Hey, man, you interested in IR?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, man. This is cool."
Dude.
And then from
how fresh were
I
you?
was in my 4th semester. So after my 5th, the hospital asked for me to come in for my sixth semester. And then I was just strictly doing IR stuff. I was like going in, like not scrubbing in. I was like watching, learning, doing like learning all the anatomy, learning all the procedures. And that's how I got started with IR. And when I graduated, they sat me down in the interview. They're like, "You have 3 options. You have X-ray, you can do this, or IR." And I was like, IR. And Morgan was right there. And I was like,
"Let's go.
Let's start, man. Let's do it."
You know, sound like a young Roosevelt, but the only difference is that at the interview, they're like, "Hey, we don't want to hire you." I was like, cool.
Yeah, man.
Yes, we don't have any options for you.
Oh, Patrick gets
try a
2
different
damn
state.
jobs.
December 12th, 2006.
Did Patrick always interview like just before you? He's like, "Hey, this next guy."
We did. I think
This is what he does.
This is why school's so weird. You're like bros for 2 years, and then we all go for the same job. And I thought 100% because you were like a tech aide at the hospital we worked at, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, the dude's a shoe in. I went on the interview for a lark, and I got it, and it created some tension.
Oh, it wasn't between me and
I'm
Pat.
joking. No, I'm kidding.
10
That's
years
what's weird.
later.
That is what's weird about X-ray school is it
I was like, "Yo, dude, you got 2 jobs?" I was like, "You're greedy." You're greedy.
You got 2 full-time jobs.
you
and
guys-
I can't
It's like
even
you got 2. You're working 2
You guys want
jobs.
to hear like something wild? So there, after my interview, they gave me the offer. I was like, "All right, yeah, I'll take it." So I was walking out of the hospital, and someone faints and starts flatlining in the parking lot. And I'm like, "Oh crap!" Doing CPR, then calling a code. I was like, "Hey, yo, we need help."
Dang.
So
dang.
I helped that patient.
Oh dang! So you didn't like?
I helped that patient get in.
You didn't like
So-
say your shit's expired?
No, the thing is, like, I walk into the hospital again. I'm like helping out, doing my thing, and one of the techs was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Yo, this person like passed out. Like, I'm helping out." He's like, "Didn't you just do your interview? They hired you that fast?" I'm like, "No."
Wow.
I'm
Good
like,
Samaritan.
I gotta. It's like in nature. I'm like, you got to do it.
Dang,
I'm like,
Carlos,
That's
that's
awesome.
yeah,
That's a good story.
I'm gonna change your name to Courageous Carlos because that's
Yeah,
pretty
I
cool.
was
Like,
like- I was like, "Oh my god!"
somebody of us.
I was like, "Oh my god!"
You're like,
go for a record.
I've been
nicknames
training
on
my
this.
whole life for this. I got this.
Well,
Well, I know you guys have seen codes. It's that fight or flight, and I'm telling you, even some medical professionals, they're flighting. Like, I mean, most are going to jump in, but especially if you're that
Dude.
new, my hat's off to you right out the gate. Just
Yeah,
because
that's awesome.
doing all this stuff right out doing interventional, I like barely dipped my toe into interventional, and it took me like 3 or 4 years to build up the courage to do that.
yeah.
You know what? I would have done. It's not even fight or flight for me, right? So if I would have seen that, I would have been like, "Sorry, my ACLS expired."
I thought you were gonna be like, "Oh, someone call it Code Brown."
Sorry, shut up.
Sorry, I can't help you. I know you're not feeling well, but hey, hands are tied. ACLS expired, bro.
Oh,
Nah,
man.
I'll
just
still
kidding.
cover it. I reviewed everything. Yeah, man.
That's
but
cool.
No,
it was,
man, that's
wild.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
That's pretty cool,
Fine,
man. Yeah, what's the wildest thing you've seen in IR?
Ruptured AAA. That was fun.
Like open?
No, like
or angiographically?
Angiographically, they came down and like mid case, we were getting access to the artery and it completely ruptured. And so we were shooting contrast. You can see everything go. Oh,
dang!
Yeah,
so was vascular or cardiothoracic there to open?
No, we put a Reliant balloon up. We went up and plugged up the main aorta.
That's
and
pretty quick.
Started working fast. We were transfusing
Nice.
like 10 liters of blood into the patient fast.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. It was my first rupture AAA, and I was like doing this. How to do?
Oh, snap.
Yeah, it was. It was wild, man.
Well, John, I
remember.
Dang.
I remember you telling me a story or actually presenting a case about a AAA that ruptured into the IVC. Is that right? Did I get that right? You remember that case that you presented?
Oh, the one I did?
Yeah, the one you presented at the one meeting. Wasn't it like a AAA rupture where it ruptured into the IVC?
It's a rare form of AAA. So the AAA happens and it compresses up against the actual IVC, and the lining in between the artery and the vein, the IVC, starts thinning and necrosis, and it causes a fistula. So when we had that case, we shot the contrast. It went down to the legs and went straight back up to the heart. We're like, what's going on here? We've never seen that. It's a atrial caval fistula.
Aortic caval.
Yeah, aortic caval fistula.
Aortic caval fistula.
It's like super rare. Like 2% of the population had it. And
for students who are actually listening, maybe just starting out, AAA means abdominal aortic aneurysm. IVC is inferior vena cava. So we got to make sure we cover our bases from the most entertaining radiology podcast in the world
to
the most.
Yeah.
No, that's
pretty
astonishing.
When you're out in the field, all those big names become acronyms really quick, like AVM or all that. Like, but yeah, for educational purposes, like Roosevelt said, abdominal aortic aneurysm.
Dude, I get acronyms from other specialties that I don't even get. Have you ever run into that, John, or anyone?
Well,
like nephrology, like every other specialty has their own. And I'm like, what is this?
Well, they like make up slang for like things.
Super. I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure this is way.
I'm like, man, you made this way harder. Like, I know you were speaking into a dictaphone. Like, you didn't have to say the letters, just speak it. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, I've had situations like that. The doctors are like saying things. I'm like, time out, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, like my favorite is they'll put like GLF. I'm like, what the hell is a GLF? Like gun?
I guess.
Yeah, go for it.
GLF. So that stands for Great Little Fistula.
I mean, that's pretty close.
Let's go.
Give you one more guess.
All right, let me see.
Gassy, a little bit more
gassy little fart.
I like that.
That's too technical.
Comedy, Carlos. I like it.
Right.
Grandma, little fun.
My grandma's very fun.
And you guys can, Well, speaking of
grandma and Fallout.
Yeah. Ground level fall.
Fall.
Right.
Yeah,
I was close.
Got it.
I was like, close.
I'm like,
and it's usually always a grandma.
Look,
grandma likes falls.
Those little grandmas are indestructible. Wow. I've seen one walk on a broken hip.
Me too.
Like, I helped her.
Bro, that's not indestructible. That's just really tough.
Like, well, that's
indestructible. She's walking with a broken hip.
She's like,
come on.
Full-fledged.
It's broken. That's not indestructible.
Yeah. She's super tough, man. I'm like, I x-rayed him, and I'm like, 100%
agree.
How are you walking? Like, it just hurts a little bit.
Mima Esther doesn't even know that's broken. They have because they've been through like they're kyphotic. They have like a crap ton of microfractures, and like with the short leg because their hip's broken, they think everything's still fun, man. Yeah, everything's fine.
100%. I've seen it. I think one time I was, it was like on a holiday. and I x-rayed a young gentleman who was like beside himself. I get it. Everyone's pain is different. Everyone's experience is different, but he literally hit his toe on a fridge, and it was like Christmas morning. And I'm like, and he was like, it was hard to get the oblique. It's giving me a hard time. And my next patient was like that. Just a lady came walking in on like a femoral neck fracture on her hip. She came strolling in like, yeah, and she didn't even want to come. Her friend made her come, and I was like, she came in, sitting, walking. We put her in a wheelchair, and she, gingerly hopped onto the table, saw the fracture. I was like, oh, all right, we're gonna get,
You're not walking. Get a
stretcher and the whole nine. Yeah, they're tough as nails, man. And just so you guys know, the guy who hit his toe on the fridge did survive. That's it. He's still.
Thank goodness. I was
still
worried.
alive.
I was worried about him.
Did he lose a toe?
Listen, man, that shit hurts.
Was it the
It
big
does
toe
hurt,
or the
yeah.
little toe? Because that can make it.
It
If
was
it's a little toe.
It was the big piggy,
The big
man.
pig.
Bro, Big Piggy, you mess with Big
hurts.
Piggy, you're off balance. It hurts.
Yo, my wife just we were like straightening up the house, and she dropped I tell you, this is an organic. This week's episode is brought to you by Pledge. Good duster cleaner. She dropped a bottle of Pledge right on her toe, and it like cracked her toe. It started bleeding. I went into fight or flight. I started doing CPR on her. She's fine. She's alive. She's well. But she legit almost passed out because it was just the worst, just boom right there. And I was just like, dang. So, but again, she's alive. She's well. If you're listening, I love you, sweetie.
You know what's crazy? Like people, when people I love get hurt, like all my medical knowledge goes out the window.
Yeah, me too. I kind of
and it's like if something happened, like I freak out. I'm like, oh, what is this?
Wait a second.
How do I stop this?
yeah, it's called I'm choking. Please help, do the Heimlich or something.
I'm like, oh damn.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What are you doing?
I love it.
John, you have a crazy moment that you remember as an RA or as an IR type?
Well, I guess one that always sticks out to me is we had always something as simple as sometimes you think like a nephrostomy tube. It was like 5:30 at night, last case of the day. The lady comes in, she's kind of septic, so they want a stat nephrostomy tube for pyelonephritis. So we get her down there, and she's on the morbid obesity scale, and she starts tanking as soon as they try and get her on the stretcher. Off the stretcher under the table. So she's not able to stay on the X-ray table. So then they were like, "Oh, let's do this emergently, get her out of here." And so they thought that they could do it real fast, right there and then on the stretcher. And of course, if you try and do something quick and fast or trying to get out of there, it's pretty much a law in healthcare that nothing's going to go right. It's going to go the complete long way. It's going to take forever.
Oh, Dr. Murphy's going to make an appearance.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dr. Murphy just says, nope, not today. Mm-hmm. And the lady ended up coding a couple times. So like in between, like trying to get it, unable to get the tube in place. And, in between doing CPR, bringing her back, trying to continue the procedure, and then finally getting it, and just kind of like, just like a sigh of relief, like, oh, like a sense of accomplishment almost. And, it was like everyone knew. I think one of the great things is that everyone knows they have a job to do. Like, this is tough and it's hard. No one wants to be here, but we got to get this done for the patient so that they can, get onto the next stage of care so that they can hopefully resuscitate her enough. Because I don't know if a lot of people know that urosepsis can be pretty fatal and pretty quick sometimes.
Mm-hmm. I did not know that.
Yeah, so just something as simple as a kidney stone gone wrong.
Oh, don't tell me this. I already freak out about kidney stones as it is.
Once your kidney goes septic, man,
they can be very serious, man.
Once you go septic, man, it goes down quick. Yeah, you have to like relieve that pressure really fast.
Sometimes
stop drinking that Mountain
just
Dew,
as simple
stop drinking that
as
sweet tea.
Just drink more
Hydrate.
water while you do it.
Exactly. Hydrate.
Flush it
Yeah,
out.
I mean, it's true.
It is true.
You can consume those things, but you got to drink a lot more water.
Yeah.
This week's episode brought to you by Mountain Dew.
Buy water.
Mountain don't.
Yeah.
Mountain, do not drink anymore, or you will get kidney stones.
The water from the Rockies. Now that's some high quality H2O.
Antarctica.
I remember. So I have one.
Yeah, and that was just kind of one that I think on the top of my head, but just something that sticks with you, like holy cow, like something so simple that can go wrong real quick, and you have to, the physicians and the tech and everyone in the room have to act fast to keep her going. So, what you got, Roosevelt?
Dude, so it was like my first year out, RA, right? And went to the so-called hospital, and it was
that the one Pat was already working at?
Yeah, it was the one Pat was already freaking working at. His second job.
That he didn't even like, probably.
I know he did
Love every job I've ever had.
No, but it was to it's for a triple lumen, right? A central venous catheter on the cystic fibrosis patient, young guy, 22, 23. So you hear this, like, these are like stories that you hear, but you never think would happen or whatever. You get the patient down on the table, getting him undressed so we can prep, and as we get the shirt off, I see "Do not resuscitate" on his chest.
Oh, dang!
Yeah.
Tattoo?
No, not a tattoo. He wrote it on there for sure.
Wow.
I mean, like I don't know if you guys experience people with cystic fibrosis. It's not great.
Yeah. Had a really good friend die from it.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, your lungs are basically attacking itself your whole life, and then you get to 20. That's pretty much at the end, and
wow,
you've already been through so much pain. And yeah, so because the father was there, and and think about it, man, I was like 24, 25, and like I'm first year out, like going this for a call, and I'm like, so what do I do? It goes
against everything you're trained to do.
Right. But the father was there right before the father asked, got his consent, right? And then this is what the kicker is. So the father was already there getting consent. We were getting him prepped because he was like, it was a needed now stat. We got to get a central line in him. Shirt. Father was there too. He saw it.
Dang.
Cried.
It's tough.
And I looked at him and I was like, what do you want to do? And basically it was the toughest, like, now as a father, like, I understand it more now.
Oh my gosh.
But it was the toughest decision for him to say no. Respect his wishes. His 23-year-old son. That's so that
you're like the same
I will
age.
always I will always remember that, man, because that was like,
yeah, man,
that was nuts.
People's wishes,
because it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't because, like, I was a technologist there, but the fact that we were in this role and we were the lead person at that time, and I was that person, like, I was just shook a little bit.
Yeah. How could you not be?
100%.
Like, I've been in radiology for a little bit at that time, but still, like, I'm not experienced in that, I'm still learning and stuff.
You do that to me
like,
tomorrow, I'll be like a hot mess for a while.
Right.
That's intense. And especially after becoming a father, oh man, I'm soft as butter when it comes to that kind of stuff, man. It's just hard. It's really hard to see parents in that kind of position, or just anyone really, any level in that kind of thing, man. It's crazy.
All right, man. Gotta move on from the hard stuff.
Yeah.
Carlos, man, what as a technologist, what is your favorite procedure in IR?
So,
like, what do you like doing the most? Actually, you know what do you like about IR in general as a technologist? That's a better question.
My
great one.
What made it so attractive to you?
Well, the thing is, interventional radiology, we use minimally invasive procedures. So we use a needle to get into the body. We're able to access any part of the body, the arterial, venous, anywhere there's a vessel that we can reach. That's pretty much how we're able to work. We work inside the actual vessels. So pretty much everywhere from the head all the way down to the toe except the heart. The heart's the cath labs territory. But
used to be us. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
Go on.
What date did we lose that, Roosevelt?
we lost that a while ago.
December 4th, 1972.
Radiology ain't got no heart.
My favorite cases are thrombectomy cases. So taking out clots, which engulfs pretty much strokes, PEs, DVTs, cold legs, anything like that.
Because it's immediate gratification, man.
Yeah,
when you do it.
You can
see, get it out. Patient comes back. It's like
when you take those clots out, it's
a
like
good feeling.
Wow, like the technology has advanced ever since I started. Like so, January 2019. Before it was just you throw a lytic catheter or give a medication, blood thinners to get rid of the clot. Now we're able to actually go into the actual vessels and take out the clots and the arterial, venous.
Wow.
Like for example, strokes. It used to be just medication for the patient, and that will cause the difficulties, left side of weakness, right side of weakness, face drooping. But now we're able to go inside the actual brain and take out the actual clot and reverse all that damage from if it's caught in an early stage. Because strokes, if there's any brain tissue that dies, it's forever gone.
It's gone.
So
yeah.
Can you explain how the device works to retrieve that clot?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Not for PE, but for strokes.
Yeah. So
don't say
I'm
the
not
name.
saying the name. You know,
we will not give any clout to that.
It's no free advertisement here.
No, unless you're a Mountain Dew.
Unless you want to invest, then
we're all gonna get shirts. We're all gonna get shirts.
We changed.
Actually,
John's not Google guy anymore. He's search engine guy.
Yeah.
Ask John.
Yeah. So over the years, like more companies are starting their own different catheters and stuff like that, but pretty much the same concept. You access the artery in the leg or on the wrist. You're able to go up to the vein or the artery, depending on what side you're going to go in. You put a wire through the where you need it. You advance the catheter, and you put the opening of the catheter against the clot. And using suction power or negative pressure, you're able to aspirate the actual clot. Or if it's very chronic, you're able to do this. You put the wire through the actual clot and use like a stent retriever, which is like pretty much like if you go fishing, it's like a net that captures the actual clot, and you're able to take out the entire clot out of the brain.
Nice. What?
Wow. And you said just in the last few years it's advanced.
Yeah, man. Like literally,
that's pretty crazy.
It's just been advancing ever since I've been into the field. Like every year, it's like these companies they're throwing so much money on engineers, different types of materials, more stronger material, but more flexibility to get, because everybody's anatomy is different. Some people's vessels are very straightforward. Some are just all over the place.
Torturous.
And if you put a catheter through and it can't go through those curves or those turns, you can cause more damage than you can fix.
One thing that seems to be rewarding with interventional, and please correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, let's be honest. If you're out there listening right now, you're doing X-ray, you're doing CAT scan, you're definitely going to have those cases where you're helping them find solutions fast. But I know at times in my career where I was frustrated, or you just have a rough day. Some of the exams we're doing are to cover the butt of some PA or ER doc or something like that, and that can kind of be disheartening to a certain extent. But all my buddies that have worked in IR, they really seem to really like it, because you're not just doing this chest X-ray to cover this doc's butt or so they can get the CAT scan that they actually want. Like, you're doing a procedure that you're actually getting to see the patient get better, hopefully, get well, improve some you're doing like just what you just described there. Those are some life and death scenarios, and it just seems like you see firsthand the difference you're making. And to me, that's why I love X-ray in general, just because it's not like when I slaved away when I worked at like retail, where you bust your butt to clean up a store and then people come and trash it again the next day, or you're serving French fries or whatever. What's the point? But here in what we do, you're making a difference in an IR. It's just you're making huge impacts.
You guys still using solitaire?
Yes, that's that.
Or is that outdated?
We use solitaire.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering if that's still like relevant anymore.
No names, man. No names.
I know, like everybody's. I know, but I just want to know, man.
You guys play
all these new companies.
You guys play that spider solitaire?
Yeah.
No, here's what you do: you DM them, see if they want to be on it. They say no, bleep it.
I had a stroke patient one time where we engaged the clot, we took it out, and the patient opened his eyes and started singing Amazing Grace. I was like, hey, yo, what's going on?
What?
That was like the craziest.
Dang.
I was like, whoa, what's just happened? He was able to move his arms like right away. He was like,
and he started singing that
song. It was
song?
crazy. I was like,
That's
what's going on here?
Yeah,
the
you
pulled
put
him
it
back from the light?
Yeah, the physician was like, man, I think he was with Jesus for a second.
Yeah,
dude. Well,
pulled him
especially
back.
because
I
he
was
sang that
like-
song. If he would have came out singing like Avril Lavigne, like Bad Boy, like that would have been like, what? All right, we got to keep going. I think something's
Put it
wrong.
back,
Like,
put it
yo,
back.
shove that clot back in.
Do you just sing Nickelback? What is
Yeah.
happening here? All right.
Definitely
Like,
shove that clot
was
back
like
in.
one of the.
Breaking Benjamin.
It was like I was like, whoa, what's going on? Like he just started singing. He's able to move his legs and stuff. I were like, hey, stop! You can't move. You're in the middle of a procedure.
Wow.
It's like,
I think that's probably one of the.
yeah, you
Go
can
ahead, sorry.
see it like
Let me cut you off.
instantly when you take like especially if you catch a clot like very early, you can take it out. Or if they give them medication like TPR or TMK, those are clot busting medications. You can see the actual revascularization of the brain, and the people just go back to normal. Like the face droop fixes back real quick. I'm like,
So for people that don't know, Carlos, how large are these clots that you guys pulling out?
so the biggest one I ever pulled was like almost 2 centimeters long. That was like one of the biggest size. But
Dang.
They're
That's
like very small. They're like a couple millimeters. But remember, the arteries of the brain
Yeah.
are very small.
Mhm.
2 centimeters, dude.
Bro,
That's
it was
long.
one of the biggest ones. I was like, whoa. When we pulled it out,
Wow.
like on the catheter, you can literally, it was like stuck on the tip of it. I was like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah, that's
Dang.
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, so for you guys that don't know it literally does not take much at all to block an artery, especially if there's areas that are already calcified or narrowed to plug up and cause massive damage. So just, think of a couple of your eyebrow hairs balled up. That's as much as we're talking about. And sometimes these patients, for not to be gross, but booger size in real life, blocking something up, and that can be life or death for some people.
So get your steps in on a daily.
And
Get your
You
steps
don't gotta
in.
run.
a lot of people are going to hate me for this,
Yeah.
but
Stick to one
No-
double
no
cheeseburger,
smoking.
not 2 double cheeseburgers.
smoking's really bad for
Yeah.
you. Those are really bad for the arteries.
I
Absolutely.
mean, a
worst.
lot of people shouldn't since it's 2023.
Yeah, that's true.
No smoking, no
Yeah,
vaping.
it's just- It just causes the vessel, the arterial walls to deteriorate, and it just messes up your heart.
Bad
and if the
news.
heart goes
Yeah, for
out,
sure.
it can cause stroke. It can cause heart attacks, like cold legs.
And let's be honest, if you're out there smoking, every time, I mean, it always happens. They get their smoke breaks, and everyone hates you because you just get to disappear for 15 minutes because you have an addiction. And I remember whenever it would happen, I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to go take an air break. I'm going to go out there and stand on the. But the hospitals are getting dialed in, though, man. Like, I sort of feel bad for people that smoke because every hospital now I've ever worked at, they had to like go smoke on the like mean streets of whatever city they're in because you can't even smoke on hospital property anymore. Because I think a lot of hospitals have it to where there's like a nicotine free zone, so they can, which they just do that so they can save money on insurance, I believe. So they're like literally on the streets, like ripping butts, so like just like, all right, I'm going back to the ER.
Yep.
Pariahs.
I don't know why these people keep coming in with STEMIs.
Dude, I know. Patients will no shame. They'll go out there in their freaking hospital gown.
I've seen that.
Out there at the bus stop smoking, and then they'll come back.
With the nicotine patches on.
You're driving into work, you're like, okay, I guess.
Yeah. All right.
But how's that allowed?
Irony.
With the freaking IV pole. Freaking IV pole, walking down, IV freaking thing hanging.
Ripping
like just smoking at the bus stop, talking to other people at the bus stop.
Yeah.
And like, all right, have a nice day. I'm going back in as a patient.
How does that conversation go? You're sitting there at the bus stop and somebody comes up to the IV pole and you're like, hey, how's your day? How's your day going? How's your day going? Sorry. Not good.
They're like, what do they got you for? Lung cancer. What do they got me for? My foot's about to fall off. What do you got for? Stroke. Oh, okay, cool, man.
Yeah, man. I've had patients like once we finish like fixing their legs and all that. First thing they come out and saying, "Man, I need a cigarette." I'm like, "Bro, come on now." We're there for like 6 hours straight fixing your leg. Come on, man.
Keep it open for like 5 minutes. Just give me that pleasure.
Like, do me a favor.
Like,
yeah, dude,
like just do me a favor. Let me take a picture so I can brag first and do whatever you want. So for technologists out there who are wanting to go to IR or actually maybe just start, you got any tips and tricks? You got tips for them to do do's and don'ts?
Absolutely. Like right now, I'm actually making YouTube videos for interventional stuff. I haven't been posting anything because I've been doing my pre-med stuff. Those classes has just been taking a lot of time. But if you're interested in IR, definitely start getting familiarized with the arteries and veins of the body, because that's going to be your golden thing, because you got to know what types of pathologies attack it, like how to identify different things. So if you have a basis of what the vessels and arteries are and how they're structured, you're going to be, it's like that's more than 75% of the battle.
Look up textbooks for vascular angiographic anatomy too. They have those out there, and it's. I mean, even though I've been doing it for a long time, I still refer back to all those books that I have. So
yeah, man. What really helped me out, I gotta throw out a name, ASRT. They have really good programs.
Beep that.
Yeah, ASRT is.
We're gonna beep that.
Yeah. Well, or Google is your best friend, because pretty much there's a diagram for everything, especially arteries and veins. Make your own diagrams. That's how I pretty much studied. And like when you're in the actual field, because there's no actual structured education for interventional, you pretty much have to learn on the job. You have to learn, you have to do your exams, and you got to do everything by yourself. Yeah, definitely learn from the nurses, from the doctors, ask questions. That's one of my things.
Yeah, that's one of those modalities where
there's no structured education, so you have to you have to. Thank God I'm in a great team. Like the doctors and the techs that I work with, they have years of experience, and they definitely took me under their wing and taught me a lot. It only took me 7 months, and I was certified as a IR tech, like pretty much.
Oh, that was man. That was the hot seat question. Yeah.
I graduated X-ray school, and 7 months later, I was passing my second registry.
And that's one of that registry has a really high.
Yeah, it's one of the hardest in the United States. Like the VI registry.
Well, I mean, let's not. I don't know if you can factually say that, because the QM registry.
Yeah, really that's what I said. It's one of the hardest.
No, I'm just kidding. QM.
Yeah, man. It's like.
It's
hard
to pass when they don't offer it anymore.
The interventional one, or VI, is it VI?
It's VI, yeah.
It's VI.
Yeah, I remember when I was looking up modality stuff that was like, oh wow, like the pass rate. It had like only like 12 or 15% people that take it pass it on their first go because it's that difficult. Because like you said, it's on the job training.
On the job, and it covers pretty much the entire body. So you got to know all your anatomy, what pathologies. You got to be able to identify. You got to be what the doctors are looking at. You got to know what the doctors, because you got to in the field. We assisted the physician, so we have to know what steps, like what wires, what are they going to use next. So you have to learn everything that the doctor does. So we have like in our group, we have a total like almost 10 doctors. Every single doctor is not the same. So you got to know why when I was like studying, I'll take my notes. Okay, why did he use this wire? Why did he use this? What technique is he doing? Like, wow, it's really on the job training, but it's definitely very promising career. Like once you pass it, it opens up a lot of doors.
And here's a good here's an analogy that I use a lot. Actually, as of lately. Speaking to other radiologists or who are in doubt of the radiologist assistant, and this applies to being a technologist and the radiologist technologist relationship. And I put it into sports terms, like, all right, the radiologists or IR radiologists, they are the Phil Jackson of the Chicago Bulls, right? They run the show. They have the high IQ. Why would you trade Michael Jordan? Why would you be afraid of Michael Jordan with the high IQ and remember, not every super athlete can be a coach, right? But Michael Jordan had this high basketball IQ, right? So why would you trade a Michael Jordan for a Muggsy Bogues? You know what I mean? Like, you want your number two to have that high IQ to help you. It's beneficial to you as the coach. And that's like what I use to explain to people and who are like intimidated by like RAs having this level of education and knowledge of radiology. And I say, you want that in a number two.
Oh,
why would you not want that in a number two?
I'll tell you the answer.
That person to have that high IQ.
The more I learn about these kind of these systems and stuff like that, where a new group is trying to come up, like RAs or this or that, it all boils down to just insecurity. They're just afraid that people are going to take their jobs or this. It's like, listen, you hit the nail on the head. You want your number two to be top tier. You don't want it to be like Carlos. He's an X-ray tech, VI certified and all that. You want that tech. You want everyone in that room to be really, really good. And people just get really insecure and they're just afraid they're going to encroach. It's like, no, like that is such small-minded thinking. It's like, no, you should want everyone in the fact that, especially RAs, we'll just pick on them. The fact that they're eager to elevate themselves and be a part of the conversation and part of the team. Man, I'm excited when, if anyone shows any remote interest in improving themselves, well, that's better for all parties involved. Like, I want you to be as successful as you can, if not more successful than me. Like, it blows my mind when people see an ambitious this or that and they're threatened by it. I am the exact opposite. I'm like, dude, I'm just excited you showed up to work and actually give a crap.
Yeah, like,
because a lot of people come up and don't.
Yeah, especially like the RAs are very important. Like, you like Roosevelt said, you want that second person to be with you, but at the same time, you're not gonna be like, what are they doing? What are they doing? Like, you want to, like, I trust him. He got it. We're able to do the whole procedure. The RAs, like in the hospitals that I work with, it's just amazing how much we can do by ourselves. The physician is around if we need any help, but we're able to do the procedures. Everything is just very structured. Because if we're waiting on the doctor all the time, it's just, what happens if the doctor's not there, or if they're not comfortable doing something? You want your team to be knowledgeable and be able to adapt and work together. and that's why the RAs are so important, like especially in my hospital.
Huge.
Yeah. And that's why the VI boards are so tough. Is because you want
you're right there. You're at
the number
table.
2 to know what they're doing.
Good point.
Back to examples of the stroke and situations and all those critical, patients.
Yeah, and you can attest to this too, Carlos and Roosevelt as well, because just because you have a title doesn't make you have the same level of experience. And so, the more people that you have experienced in the room, the greater level of care, the better outcomes you're going to get for the patient, because there's often times where, maybe the interventional radiologist or radiologist hasn't, is, stuck with something, and they can bounce to the experienced techs for, even just to kind of, rule things out, hey, does anyone have any ideas here? Or, it's maybe some product they haven't thought of trying to cross a lesion or some other method of doing things, especially if they're newer to, fresh out of fellowship. And that's just how everyone grows and learns, is by shared experiences. And so the more people that you have at the same level functioning on the same page, the better outcomes are going to have for the patients.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. For everyone. And it just makes work better. Anything you could do to make people want to go to work, you better be doing it. I'm talking to all you radiologists out there.
Yeah.
I think it's just you want to bring everyone to the table, man.
I've only been in the field for 4 years, and there's some like procedures I'm like, wow, I know so much about it. And then when I post about it and stuff like that, I have like physicians from Germany, from other places, some other countries. They're like, what is that? I'm like, oh, you don't do that? Like, and I start explaining, they're like, what are you the doctor? I'm like, no, I learned. It's because.
So let me ask you this: what keeps you motivated? What drives Carlos, aka Lazy Bones? What keeps you motivated? Because if we're just going to look at the amount of call you take, we're going to say you're highly motivated. But what keeps you coming back to work every day? What's the driving force behind what you're doing?
So,
because I know you said at the beginning you're like in pre-med or
man,
going for doctor.
So what really motivates me is like I come from a poor background, and education was one of the things that my parents really instilled in me. Like, Carlos, learn. There's something that no one can ever take. And I just love learning. So every time I come into work, I just learn more, like different cases, like even if it's the same case, different procedures. Like I get to learn from everybody around me. Like, for example, the RAs, the physicians, the nurses, even someone I meet in the subway, I'm like, oh, I learn every single day, and I just enjoy learning.
That's good.
How do you know radiology?
Well, no, like even life lessons. Like, one guy taught me, like, hey, this is a fancy restaurant, or this is good food. I'm like, hey, man, I learned something new today. I'm like, I might gotta go eat something there. Yeah, man.
That's
It's
awesome,
like,
man.
Just because it's wrapped in foil doesn't mean it's going to have something good inside.
yeah, I just like, I just love learning.
I think sometimes the more you get into your career, I think people lose that. And I haven't always been gung ho about it, but I've always been curious. And like I said, sometimes if I'm burnt out, it wanes. But 9 out of 10 times when I'm showing up to work, I'm pumped to learn. I'm excited. When I see new stuff, I'm eager. And I don't know. When I see that in people, I really love it, because when you have that kind of mindset, I mean, each day is a new day to a new opportunity to learn more. And if that's your driving force, you're gonna be good.
That's just my family is one of the most important things. Like, bro, there's been moments in my life like my chicken was a meal. Like, like now I'm like looking back, I'm like, all that suffering and all that grind that I go through now. Like, now look at me now.
All
I'm
your
like,
hard work. Yeah.
every single day is a blessing. That's my philosophy, man.
And And you're smart about it too, like physically smart about it too. Now you're putting like 21% down. Like, you know what I did? I bought Jordans.
Hey man,
I bought Jordans and champagne.
Man, you gotta celebrate, man. Hey, man.
That's what I did with my 20%.
Carl's on like step 7.
I was like,
Dave
you know
Ramsey.
what? I don't get the. I've never had this food before. I'm just gonna eat whatever I can.
Enjoy it because you're enjoying it.
Champagne.
Well, see,
I'll
like
try
you
that.
gotta.
Oh, it says you can bathe
gotta
in this?
treat yourself.
All right.
Like you gotta treat yourself. Like today was like my day off, and
How'd you treat yourself today? How do you treat yourself?
I went to a couple restaurants in Tampa. I ate a lot.
Ooh.
I went to USF, like getting all my paperwork
Nice.
to transfer over there. Hopefully, get accepted.
You do share
Awesome.
some fire like meals,
man.
man. Like I've literally screenshotted some of your stories because I'm like, I gotta check
man.
that place out.
I love eating, man. That's one.
Them flautas
That's one of the
look good.
joys in life, man. You gotta eat. Yeah, man.
There you
There's
go,
like
man.
some food. I'm like, that looks kind of weird. Let's go eat it, man.
That's the one. Dude, that's the one thing I promised myself.
I'll
too,
mess with that.
Like after I graduated, was that I'm never ever gonna go hungry again, and I'm gonna eat what I want. If I see something on the menu,
Mhm.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
man.
do it.
Just,
So
Not me. I'm doing calculations. I'm like, oh no, I don't know. Should I get the appetizer? Oh man. And now I hate buying drinks. I hate buying drinks at restaurants now.
oh man,
Ah,
if,
man,
if
it's
they
so
can
expensive.
only, if there was only a
like
way
more
that
than
they
$10
can
a
fix
drink.
that for you. Oh wait, there is.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I love it. You're an inspiration. I dig it.
all right, man. I think
yeah,
that's gonna be
Yeah.
a good close. You know, it's Carlos, man. Captain Carlos, Karen Carlos,
Caring,
Caring,
Carlos.
Carlos.
Compassionate,
Compassionate Carlos.
courageous.
The risk
I love it. Yeah,
for
I really-
charisma.
And,
Risk.
and definitely not
that
lazy,
riz, bro.
Carlos. Yes.
love it.
Carlos got that riz. Hey
Absolutely
man,
love
thanks
it.
for coming
Man,
on,
I
dude.
appreciate you guys.
It's a
But
pleasure
before we
speaking
go,
with
man,
you.
you wanna shout out your handle and
Go ahead and drop it
I
on.
know drop some
Business.
business
All right,
you got going on.
Instagram's lazybones_radiology. My YouTube channel is lazybones radiology. Twitter, lazybones radio 1. Yeah, man. Like
Let's go.
I'm currently working on a
Nice.
couple of projects. Hopefully, I'll post them soon. But I'll definitely let you guys know. I'm definitely excited to join you guys again. You guys are awesome.
Of course,
Yeah, for sure,
Of course,
man.
tag
Absolutely.
us. We'll promote you too. Of
Yeah,
course.
You working on any side hustles or anything? yet,
I do
Cooking?
have a couple here if you guys want to see. Yeah, man.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, what you got?
Hopefully, in the future, I'm gonna be selling these bad boys out right here. Some
Whoa,
some-
for reals. you
Oh,
can
is that
Yeah,
for
man.
your like oh dang holographic
Dang.
nameplates or
Yeah, we
badge
call
plates?
badge
these are
holders?
badge buddies, man.
There's a name.
Yeah, man.
Badge
Dang.
buddies.
I've been-
Dang.
I'm so
Dang.
jealous. All the texts now have such cool. They have such cool swag. All we had back in the day was like the stuff in the back of the ASRT scanner magazine, which was like, like
No.
week shirt. Like,
we didn't even
that's all
have
we
that.
had.
man.
Yeah. No, I remember, hey, you guys got that cool sticky tape so I can tape my markers up?
Yeah.
My L and R with like janky, my lead names. And all these people got all these cool
Yeah, man.
freaking.
A super.
You know what I
markers
use?
now.
You know what
I'm
Patrick
like,
and I
what in
use?
the heck?
We use paper clips, son. Paper clips.
I used
we
to be
took
so-
paper clips. We made L's out of it. And we made R's out of it.
Yeah.
And
I
you
used to
wanna
be
know what
so
else we
jealous of
did
the people
for-
that had like the little beads. So you'd be like, oh, that was a supine film. Oh, that was an upright film. I'm like, what in the
Yeah,
hell?
man.
The only
Ah.
swag, you know where we got our swag from? The clearance section after Halloween. We got all them skeleton things. Now,
Yeah.
Yep.
now if you're like,
I went to the actual Landau store.
I love it. I absolutely loved having you on, Carlos, aka Lazy Bones, aka Lazy Bones _radiology, Lazy Bones Radio something on Twitter. I don't mess with Twitter. I don't understand how it works. It confuses me mostly. And super John, hit the music. We want to thank you, John. Hit the music. Dang it! Come on.
Right.
Panic.
In 3, 2, 1. No pressure. Go ahead, Carlos. Beatbox. Go ahead.
This is it, right?
Let's go. That's pretty good, dude. Thanks for listening.
Dang, Carlos.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah, keep it up, Carlos. It's one of these buttons.
Carlos,
it's one of
man.
these buttons.
Close
What's
it out,
going on? Oh, crap. What's happening? Oh, crap.
What?
This week's episode brought to you by Riverside. Actually, Riverside's super mediocre. There's a lot of delay all the time, and the video quality is subpar at times. Thanks for listening. Rate, review, buy the Catheter Jockeys a drink. Carlos, if you could drop that down to 19% towards your 401k, throw 1% our way, we'd really appreciate
I got you
it.
guys.
That's like 1% more than we already got.
If you're out there, for those of you that have donated and reviewed and hit us up, man, thank you so much. It means a lot to us. We're here. We're doing our thing.
We got a couple shout outs.
Share the love.
Shout out to Melissa Mayan for always donating. Shout out to Tim D. Jones for sending us Catheter Jockeys
to switch out the
creative
music.
art paint that I'm going to reveal soon. Bum, 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 bum. And I miss my Uncle Charles. We out.
Boom. Shout out Bone Thugs. God, you're having way too much fun with that.
They got all these
Still
buttons
listening.
here. Bless you. So sorry.
Hit that stop.
This is the outro.
In 3.
It's one of these. Is it right?